We're not going to keep any of these cards. We don't want to keep Bran. We don't want to keep any of the cards. Yeah, I'm playing this deck because after it was nerfed, its win rate went down below 50%, and it has literally not recovered since then. It has stayed below 50% since it was initially nerfed. So I decided to try, see if it was playable. I think we're going to just hero power hit phase. Probably going to hero power hit this next turn. I mean, it is a big spell mage. They're going to change a couple of my spells around, which means we have to try to play Innervate and or Earthen Scales basically as fast as possible. But if they end up hitting something, no. I mean, I can go Jerry Carpenter. It's probably fine. I mean, there'll be 6, but whatever. What am I supposed to do? I have to deal with it. I have to play them. I Innervate out Rampant Growth next turn. And then eventually I'll play Earthen Scales. The fact that this is increasing the cost of all my cards, though, is going to be really frustrating. But I think if I go... No, I can kill this off next turn. I can actually just kill this off next turn. And then play this the following turn. So it's going to go bonk into hero power hit, and then we'll pass. You might be wondering, why would I play like this? Don't you want to save Astalor for after you play Bran? The answer is yes, but also no. You don't need to. So the idea is you want to play one Bran, then a Nubricon, then Astalor, and then the upgraded Astalor. That'll do 32 damage, and you'll have one Astalor left in your hand, and if you have extra mana left over, you can play the other one. The problem is, it's very hard to get all the mana required to do all of these things. It's extremely difficult to do that. They can coin something out, so I'm going to have to play a lot of different things all at once here. This is just strictly not good. We have to play the Innervate so that way they don't get a free spell and then hope that they hit a 6, 7, or 8 and just don't hit the Wild Growth. We are taking a decent chunk of damage, but hopefully we can do something in the near future. Wild Growth next turn, scales up a little bit. We could also just go Scale of Onyxia. Spoiler alert, this deck is horrible now. I don't know if it's horrible. I mean, it still has a 49.5% win rate. It's like, if you round, the win rate's not actually that bad. They did not have Coin Barbaric Sorceress or Coin Belinda, which is nice. The plating is going to get countered pretty much every single time, I would assume. Yeah, makes sense. We can ramp up one more time, though, and then hero power. And then that way we can play Miracle Growth and Earthen Scales next turn together. And then from there, we'll figure out what we need to do. I think in order for this to work, though, you need Guff. But, like, I feel like needing Guff and having that be your main problem isn't that big of a problem, because you should need Guff to combo something this insane anyway. Hey, how's it going? Astalor needs to be nerfed. I agree. I think well, I agree and disagree, because Astalor is a really good card in general and arguably too strong. But at the same time, having a really good neutral legendary, a lot of people can just build and put in their decks, especially if you're playing on a budget. Just being like, okay, I'm playing on a budget. I'm going to craft Astalor as my legendary and put it in a lot of decks. I feel like that could also be kind of good for the game from a budget standpoint. But yeah, it is in 60% of decks. I also feel like there's a tipping point when a card becomes too strong, and this 60% win rate, or play rate, sorry, should probably go down a little bit. We're going to go boom into Earthen Scales.
Look at that.
Innervate's not the most important thing in the world. We're gonna go boom into this to build up a little bit of defense here. But, I need to find Bran and have enough mana to play this soon. And we also have to play Bran before we play a Nubricon. We also need to ramp up and try to survive as much as we can. This deck just has a lot of pros and a lot of cons now. A lot of cons. Ping it, and freeze the other one. Shattering Blast? No, you were in Shattering Blast. I mean, that's fine, actually. I can play Scale of Onyxia if these things die and they trade in. I don't really mind that too much. Play some coins. Not a big deal. Do they trade in? It looks like they are going to trade in, which I'm very happy about. That was a bad trade. They trade the 2/6 in, or they should have traded the 2/6 in to the 4/6 so it lives, but that's besides the point. Let's go Moonlit. Let's see what we can get. We can get Guff and Bran. Let's go Guff. Sure, why not? We'll play Guff, we'll ramp up. We kind of need to play Innervate as well. Let's play this first, just in case, and try to not draw. Well, we'll take Aquatic Form to thin out the deck a little bit more, I guess. But now we're gonna start going. We can play a 4-6, but I kind of don't want to do that because if I do, then they're gonna get that thing. So let's go for some more ramp or removal. We need more ramp, I think. Then we're gonna go boop, ramp, gain an empty mana crystal. And then after that, we can go like nourish and play Raid Boss and Ixia next turn. It's just if I played the minion on the board, the 3-2 can theoretically kill it, give me a coin, and then they can play Barbaric Sorceress, which would get very out of hand very quickly. So I'd rather just sit back and assess the situation. What deck, in your opinion, is best for climbing right now? I've been really liking Pure Paladin. It's I don't necessarily think it's the strongest deck in the game, but I think it's a top 5 deck, and it's extremely simple to play. You're just playing tempo, getting big stats out on the board, and hitting them in the face. Another one would probably be Big Spell Mage, the deck I'm playing against now. It's not that hard. You just play tempo, and then you try to, then you don't be Rune of the Archmage and kill me. Please just be stuff that wipes the board and has to target minions. I'm begging you. Anyway, Big Spell Mage is a little bit RNG based, but it's not the worst thing in the world. We get a coin, which is honestly not bad. We can bait that out with a coin. Snap Freeze has hit one of their own minions. This is why you don't play Rune of the Archmage when you're ahead on board, by the way, chat. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna take 6 damage, but I don't really think it's that big of a deal. They mostly killed off their own minions. For the most part, they've killed off and frozen their own minions. I mean, yeah, sure, that's gonna hit my face, but I don't really care. I'll gain armor and stuff next turn to survive. Let's go, coin. Is it counter? Interesting. So now I'm in a bit of a pickle because if this gets countered, I mean, I don't think I really care too much, actually. I actually don't think I care. I just have to play a minion. Well, we know it's not counterspell because we just played the thing. Let's gain 2 mana crystals. Gain a mana crystal. Play this to gain another mana crystal and draw a card. Probably play Wild Growth and then ramp up one more time. We get Earthen Scales, pretty nice. We'll go, boom, mana crystal, and then another mana crystal. And now we're at 20. We're gonna probably just play Raid Boss and Ixia in the end. As much as I don't want to do that, it looks like it's gonna be just my best play. I guess I could maybe play Underking and some. Oh, God, that's gonna be bad. We're gonna have to play. We do play a Ixia here, I think, at the end of the day. Even if it ends up dying, we could potentially play Scale of an Ixia and still kill up to 10-8 and a couple of other things. But we need to bait it out as quickly as possible here. So let's just hope that it's not the card that I'm thinking it is. Because this plays around Explosive Rune, right? If I play this, it plays around Explosive Rune because it'll be immune. And it'll have 8 HP. Ideally, we get Underking or the Crypt Keeper to play. But this, I take too much damage, so I'm going to just play this and hope it doesn't get wrecked too hard here. I can play Earthen Scales, so that's nice. I can actually target this, which is incredible, and kill off multiple other things. So it's going to be Ice Barrier, Visage, and or Oasis Ally, which is fine. I was testing Priestess Arm Elemental, and it's funny seeing a 0-drop Horn of Winter getting hit to 6 mana. Yeah, it's true. That is pretty funny, actually. I guess I should have drawn cards before playing that to have a couple more options, but at the end of the day, I think this is fine. We have Bran, we have this, we have the Astelar, we have 20 mana. Okay, as long as we can live this turn, the game is over. We'll gain, we'll hit, we'll then hit. No, sorry, we need to hit this first, so it's less likely to go face. That's cool. And then we'll draw a card, I guess. So next turn, it's gonna be Bran, a noob, then this, and then Astelar. Bran, you have to play Bran first so you can play this. So that way you can gain 8 armor. And then play 1 Astelar into 2 of them next turn, because it's gonna be 32 damage. Is that gonna be enough? That actually might not end up being enough damage. That's crazy if that ends up not being enough damage. That is absolutely absurd, and then they freeze my minion. That's crazy. It might not be enough damage because they have so much HP on the board. 1, 2, okay, 1 boom, then boom, boom. We can afford to play Scale of Onyxia first. We actually still have enough mana to do everything. 11, 18, chip away at some of this HP. And then that should open it up for like 64 total damage, right? And that should be enough to win the game. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Brand plus this, and then 1 minion, 2 minion, 3 minion. Yeah, that works. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're gonna do it twice. And then cool. Boom into boom. And that should be game, I would assume. For the person who said this deck was bad, get wrecked. This deck is not bad. Confirmed, goated with the sauce. I won this game even after drawing Guff on turn 10. I mean, their hand wasn't particularly great either, but we got what we needed to get. We got there in the end. And we got through an entire board of minions, so. Let's go. Do you think the Renathal nerfs will be reverted? No. I mean, I want them to be. Don't get me wrong. I would be so happy if the nerfs got reverted, because the nerf to Renathal in the first place was just stupid. Like, there's absolutely no reason to have nerfed Renathal. Control/slower decks were already basically unplayable. So the fact that they made them even harder to do and didn't really do anything to nerf aggro or combo other than like Miracle Rogue absolutely blows my mind. I think that was one of the worst nerfs or just changes in general Blizzard has ever made in Hearthstone. For the most part, patches and stuff I've been fairly okay with. I've been like, oh, I can see why they did that. I can see why they did that. I might not agree with it, but I see why they did that. Renathal just made absolutely zero sense. Like, you could gun to my head and they're like, tell us why they nerfed Renathal. I'd be like, I guess you gotta shoot me. I have no idea. I have no clue. Point is, it was a stupid decision. It wasn't even strong. It was in less decks than Astalar is in now. The win rate was below 50%, and it was the only thing that made control decks even kind of viable. Oh my gosh, I'm pissed off just thinking about it. I absolutely despise the changes they made. We get Earthen Scales, not really that great. We can play it eventually with like Miracle Growth. Hopefully we can find Nourish in a turn or two. They'll revert Renathal when he goes wild, maybe. When are you gonna play a meme deck for once? I mean, I've played a couple of meme decks in the past, but they always underperform in terms of video viewership, so there's no reason to. I mean, obviously, there are people who enjoy it, and I actually enjoy playing meme decks, but it's just, it's not worth it if people don't watch them. At the end of the day, it's a business. Do you think Vampiric Blood needs to be nerfed? I honestly feel like 10 HP for 2 mana is pretty stupid. No, because Blood Death Knight has a below 50% win rate and has had a below 50% win rate basically since it was released. I mean, you go, where is it actually? Yeah, if you go Diamond through Legend, it's at a 46.5% win rate. If it had above a 50% win rate and it was like 51, maybe not. If it was at like 52 or above, I might start saying yes. Also, can we please just like draw well, maybe? That would be, I would love that. To draw even remotely well. I'm gonna need to find Earthen Scales as soon as possible. I need 10 mana quickly. Wildbloom Seedsman is the card that we can play. We get Innervate. We can play the other Wildbloom Seedsman next turn. We need to not get bursted down in 2 turns. If we can survive 2 turns, we can go fairly crazy, but the problem is I don't know if we're gonna make it that far. And I don't want to play Nubercon to survive, but I honestly might just have to. If I top deck another Innervate, I might be able to commit and do some cool stuff, but please just don't kill me this turn. I'm begging you, please. Just let me live one more turn. Just one more turn. Another Bonebreaker, you're kidding me. Scale of Onyxia? I mean, if I go boom, both of these cost 0 armor, which is not great. 16, that's a lot more damage on board. I don't really need to play that. I might actually just have to play this. At the end of the day, if I have to do it, I have to do it. And it looks like I have to do it, so. Yep, sure, why not? We'll do that into this, and then this for free, or for a little bit of armor, I guess. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do there. I mean, does it hurt my overall combo potential? Yeah. Have I taken way too much damage? Absolutely. I've taken way too much damage at this point. I've taken way too much damage. Because, like, if I was able to not take a ton of damage from these things and the weapon, there's an argument to be made that, like, I'm able to still survive the next couple of attacks, you know? But now I could get bursted down very soon. I'm really curious what the next core rotation will be like. I have no idea, but I'm excited as well. As long as we do not have Bran, I'm happy. 10 vampiric blood also requires 3 corpses, and blood doesn't have that great of a corpse generation. That's true, but it doesn't have nothing, and the hero power also helps out, so I don't know. I could see it going either way. I could see it being nerfed if it becomes strong, but I also just don't think it's very strong. Relentless or remorseless winter. Wait, what? How are you able to play this many cards? What's happening? Yo, stop! What? You have to stop. This has to stop. This is madness. Madness, I say. Does damage to my face. That's okay. We're gonna gain a lot, and I mean a lot of armor. We're gonna gain 10 more armor right here. We don't have Raid Boss Onyxia yet, but that's okay. Or not Raid Boss Onyxia. We don't have Bran yet, but that's okay. Boom. Could I just hit face here instead and try to pressure damage? They're just 2/2/4s. Pushing face damage is not terrible here. I want to gain armor with this if I can. Oh my gosh, am I gonna die? No way I die here, right? It's gonna be the drag O. Oh, yep, because that can go face and it's totally balanced. I'm gonna end up losing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Love to see it. Pleasure to chat with you guys, but I have to sleep now. See it? Well, good night, my friend. Wow, okay, Under King. But we need to gain as much armor as possible so we don't die here. This kills off the dragon. 24 HP, a pretty decent taunt minion. If they hit my minion, I don't know why they would ever do that, but I think we gained enough armor to actually survive, which is crazy. I guess they could have another Frostworm's Fury, and they probably do. If they do, how do I beat that? Because obviously they do. That one was a gifted one. I mean, I could go Bran Astalar into another Astalar and just gain 5 armor. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. They're gonna do that into the dragon. Yup. Okay. Moonlit Guidance, we look for Earthen Scales, I think. Or Guff. Aquatic Form? Yeah, sure. We find an Earthen Scales, which is pretty cool. We gain even more armor, and we can also just find Guff and play that as well. The game's pretty much over at this point. It's gonna be gain more armor, innervate out, gain more, or ramp up a little bit. Okay. We hit our point of critical mass. There's not really much they can do. We used a Nubercon to stay alive, but I'm pretty sure as long as we can hit 20 mana, we win the game. Honestly, we only need to hit 18 mana, and they're running out of damage, and we have big minions on board. I missed wishing you Happy New Year. You leveled up heavy in 2022. I agree. I think I leveled up pretty heavily in 2022 as well. So thank you. Here's to much continued success. Well, I appreciate that. Actually, think about it. It's a Hermitage card that makes Blood Death Knight kind of annoying since they get Vampiric so often. Oh yeah, that card. That card's broken. That card is beyond broken. The Druid, not the Druid, the Blood Death Knight card that, what's it called? The Blood Death Knight card that ramps. Not ramps, that discovers a card. I don't know why I said ramps. That doesn't even make any sense. Do I want to kill off the 5/6 and develop a board? Yeah, I don't see why not. I see no reason not to. Boom, ramp up a little bit more. Next turn, we just go crazy and we win the game, right? Either A, they kill my board. I guess what could happen... No, if they do freeze my board with a Frostworm's Fury, which is it's what they're doing, apparently. I'm not really that close to dying yet still. I still have 30 HP. So I don't think they can burst me down with 3 cards from here. I can just spend this time ramping up. Ramp. I can draw some cards, actually. I think drawing cards might be better to try to find the plating, because we know it's in the next couple of cards. Actually, do we care about the plating? I mean, we might as well. Actually, how much mana do I need again? I said I needed 18 and a decent amount of board space. And we'll get there. Let's just draw the cards now so we can get the plating. We know we're going to get the plating right now. We ramp up once here. We play the plating to gain a decent amount of armor. We gain a mana crystal. We also have Innervate if we are short 1 mana somehow. But yeah, they can't freeze my board again because they can't generate another Frostroom's Fury. So either A, we win, or B, we win. Those are really their only two options. I wish they would bring back Yogg-Saron where you could spin the wheel. That was such a ridiculous... That was so ridiculous. They still don't have enough cards to kill me, but that does add a decent amount of damage. Wow, it hits my immune card. That's kind of lame, actually. Oh, I guess they can generate more cards off of the Frost Strike, and they can freeze my board again. If they freeze my board again? No, because then this could potentially kill off 2 1s and still empty enough space to win the game. So I'm pretty happy about it. I'm pretty fine. They were getting an extra corpse. Okay, cool. And that's lethal, right? We gain a little bit more armor. Boom. Just to empty out some space in hand. This twice. Then the other Aloran twice. And then we get the other one and we just go crazy. Alright, into this matchup, we're gonna get rushed down pretty hard. We want as much ramp as we can get. Wildbloom Seedsman and Wildheart Guff are pretty decent together. I would like... Oh, Jerry Carpenter's even better, actually. Jerry Carpenter actually gives me a minion to play early game. So as long as we can survive the early pressure, we should be fine. Exact lethal? It was not exact lethal. Astalar stops because it does instances of 1 damage. It stops when they get to 0. I had 2 more damage than I needed. Actually, it's not a big deal. I'm not trying to like correct you or anything. It's just that's how 1 damage increment things work. It stops once they get to 0, unless they're like overdrawing with fatigue, in which case they will draw into oblivion, which is hilarious.
Delightful.
Wild Growth into Guff next turn, into a decent amount of ramp, into more ramp, and we just have to hope we don't die in... I want to say as long as we don't die in the next 3 turns, we will hit a point of critical mass and become unkillable. Are they going to pump up that minion? If they pump up that minion, that's great for me. Oh, they're going to touch it? Okay, fair enough. It's insane that 2-drop that is good tempo-wise and another win condition. Oh, yeah, you're talking about Astalar. Decent tempo play, but a really good win condition, true. Arguably, we could play a Ramp Druid and then also, or not Ramp Druid, we could play this into this.
Oh, dear.
So that way we don't accidentally draw the other Nourish and we can have as many cards as possible. It allows me to still play this turn and maybe contest the board. We can play Wildheart Guff next turn, along with... We can play Rampant Growth, actually, into Wildheart Guff and get 11 mana immediately. And then again, as long as we're not dead next turn, I think we can kind of go off. Their hand is not very good early game. If they're going the curse version, this could be a little bit scarier, but I don't... Well, they could be. No, they probably are because they ran touch. That's not pure aggro. That's definitely the curse version. Astalar is probably going to get nerfed. I agree. I 100% agree. I don't disagree with you. I think that the card is too strong. As I was talking about in the last... Okay, as long as we can survive like 1 or 2 more turns, we play Raid Boss and Onyxia, we win the game. Yeah, boom into Guff, right? And then we can play Raid Boss and Onyxia next turn. Hit here. We want to play this next turn and try to find Earthen Scales to pump up Raid Boss and Onyxia. Anywho, as we were saying before, I think that having a really strong neutral legendary is genuinely good for the game. Like Denathrius, I think, okay, Denathrius was too strong and obviously also needed to be nerfed, but like having a card anybody can build around with any class gives casual and budget and even somewhat competitive players like something to build around. So that way they don't have to go out and craft 5 legendaries for this class, 5 legendaries for that class. They can build like an okay deck with 1 or 2 cool neutral legendaries. But again, once a card gets to a 60% play rate and is a solid win condition tempo play and survival play in 60% of decks, it's a problem. I would say once it gets into about 40% of decks, you want to look at it. 50% of decks is a bit much. And then anything beyond that is just absurd. Like so 40% is like, okay, look at it a little bit. Once it gets closer to 50, you're like, okay, this will probably get nerfed. And once it's past 50, that you cannot, there's no world where you could think it's okay to have it in the game like that. We're gonna play Raid Boss and Nixie and just kill everything. And I want to play the Abyssal Curse. We're just gonna play the Abyssal Curse. Well, actually, I'm okay taking 1 damage here. I think maybe we could just ramp or gain armor. I'm gonna ramp. Because they can't make me overdraw with curses now. This is only gonna do 1. It's actually not even mana efficient to get rid of it at this point. You only want to get rid of the curses once they get to about 3 or more damage, because 1 and 2 are negligible. Because there are a lot of 2 damage or 2 mana spells that do 3 damage. So in my head, it's not even mana efficient to... What? Wait, was it not infused? Oh my gosh, it was not infused. That's crazy. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. That's gonna be Grimmer. So that way I can't just... Yeah, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Aslar gets nerfed, that'll be the end of the rest of control decks. I mean, I don't know if it'll be the end of the rest of control decks. It's a bit dramatic. I mean, this plus Earthen Scales, and then we just kill this off. I'm not gonna overdraw, it'll get me to 10. We get 2 Earthen Scales, which is even better, and Aslar to help me kill something off. Pretty solid stuff, if you ask me. Earthen. Plus Earthen. Ramp up some more, kill off the Imp. Yeah, there's really no reason to do that. Let's just keep ramping. Mana Crystal. Yep, sure. Pass. So in order to win the game... I mean, if we get to 20 mana, it doesn't matter. We want to play this Astalar first, because we don't want the first Astalar to take up one of the, Anubricon minions, right? Battlecry, next 3 minions cost armor. You don't want that one, the first one, to be soaked up with this. So you want to play this one without Bran, and then you want to play the second and third one with Bran and Anubricon. But yeah, we're at 43 HP. I guess they could make me overdraw. Yeah, I trolled. If I lose a Nubricon, I mean, I don't actually even still lose the game, because Bran and Astalar and all that could be really, really strong. The problem is, however, I could have played Aquatic Form and Innervate to empty my hand a little bit. Keeping all of this was greedy. If I overdraw a card and it's a Nubricon, I deserve to lose. It's the problem with streaming, right? And talking through basically everything. It's gonna end up being dragged below twice. I'm gonna overdraw a card. I should have, like I said, played probably Aquatic Form or Innervate. And that's my bad. That's 100% my bad. That's the problem, like I said, with like talking and trying to explain everything that's going on. We lost a Crypt Keeper, thank goodness it wasn't too bad. Aslar is only a problem in Rogue, a Druid. It's irrelevant in Legend ranks. You are... Okay, we will discuss that very blatantly wrong statement in a little bit, but not right now. So we need to kill off this so they can't get way more things. Let's just go this for now and see what it is. Can we find anything? I mean, this ramps me up a little bit more, but more ramp and card draw is decent. I'll take that. Honestly, we want to keep one Abyssal Curse in our hand. Fun fact. The weaker of them. But we want to keep one in our hand. We then want to go Astalar to kill off this. We want to kill off Tamsin. I mean, we could do 8 damage, but we can't let this stick around. It's just not possible. We'll go boom. And now it's impossible for us to overdraw if we keep 1 curse. We're going to go, what's it called? 1 more ramp. So for next turn, we'll pop off. And then we'll play this one. Now they can only give me 2 curses, and then we're not going to overdraw because this will go away before we draw our next card. And we have a decent board. Could I have maybe threatened lethal or done something else? Maybe. We're kind of just hoping for a Nubricon. And this is all without a Scale of Onyxia, by the way. I haven't gotten 1 Scale of Onyxia to wipe the board yet. It gives me 2 more curses. This does scale up kind of hard. But I mean, if we can go face here, we just win the game. It's all good. We go Bran into this, into other Astalar, I guess. And these all go face. It's 32 damage. It's just lethal. We don't really even need anything else. We just go boom, boom, and then we get to play one of them. And then that's just game, right? 16 damage. No, yeah, it's 32 damage. Sorry, my bad. I was like, oh my gosh, wait, maybe we don't have lethal. But we do. I guess technically... No, because the battle cries go off before the death rattles go off, so it's not like anything will die or I'll die or anything. Best case scenario, if that had killed something off with all of my weak minions, I could have maybe played another Aslar, maybe like next turn, if my board had space.